Statement. I give the floor to the representative of the Russian Federation.
Спасибо.
Thank you, Mr. President. We thank the Special Representative of the Secretary General, Francois Evstigneeva, for sharing his assessment of the situation in the Central African sub-region. Russia has unfailingly supported the activities of the UN Office for Central Africa as an important instrument of preventive diplomacy. We believe that the good offices of Special Representative Fall are extremely useful. Mr. President, the situation in Central Africa remains complex. The main threat emanates from the activities of numerous armed criminal groups and terrorist organizations, primarily the Islamic State, West Africa Province, and Boko Haram. The fighters are maintaining their capacity. They continue to carry out attacks on the militaries of Nigeria, Chad, Niger, and Cameroon, and terrorize local populations. They are using rear bases in hard-to-reach areas to conduct raids deep into the territory of neighboring states. The low combat capability of the armed forces of states in the region and insufficient military coordination, as well as a lack of reliable intelligence data, prevent them from effectively resisting well-organized criminal groups that use guerrilla warfare tactics and that often enjoy the support of local residents who are forced to coexist with the militants. The ideology of radical Islam is gaining more and more popularity, especially among youth. One particular feature of the region is its porous borders, through which both peaceful civilians and goods, as well as militants and contraband goods, move freely. In this regard, we believe it is necessary to step up states' efforts to swiftly identify and block channels fueling terrorists with ideological, logistical, financial, and human resources. It is also necessary to strengthen cooperation with African partners on counter-terrorism issues, both bilaterally as well as through international fora. For our part, we are ready to share our experience in this area and to implement capacity building projects to help the continent states fight terrorism and extremism. The socioeconomic situation of the local populations in the subregion is of grave concern. It can be described as close to critical. Hundreds of thousands of people have been left homeless. The number of refugees and temporarily displaced persons is growing, and there is an acute shortage of food and drinking water. The coronavirus, which has aggravated the already difficult socioeconomic situation of the populations, continues to persist in the region. Mr. President, the safety of navigation in the Gulf of Guinea is also of great concern. In particular, the increasing number of cases of hostage-taking for ransom affecting Russian merchant seamen. Establishing broad international cooperation, particularly for regularly monitoring the situation at sea, and creating a system for the identification and accompanying of ships, as well as for early warning regarding potentially hazardous objects on sea transport routes, could help reduce the risks of pirate attacks. We welcome the establishment in July this year of the Gulf of Guinea Maritime Collaboration Forum, a new platform for communication and coordination regarding anti-piracy military operations. We are ready to take active part in the work of this mechanism and provide assistance to our regional partners. We note the activities of the UNODC's Global Maritime Crime Program, which has already previously made a significant contribution to collective efforts to normalize the situation off the Horn of Africa. This year, Russia plans to make a voluntary contribution to the Global Programs Fund for technical assistance to Gabon and Equatorial Guinea, and in 2020, Russia allocated a special contribution to provide technical assistance to the coast guards of Ghana and Nigeria. Also in October this year, a detachment of ships of the Northern Fleet was on active duty in the waters of the Gulf of Guinea to carry out anti-piracy exercises. We note the successful operation carried out by our Navy to prevent pirates from seizing the vessel Lucia. Taking into account the very significant regional differences in manifestations of piracy and related criminal activity, we advocate the swift implementation of President Vladimir Putin's initiative to establish a specialized universal entity under the auspices of the United Nations to address the entire range of issues of combating maritime crime in various regions. Mr. President, regarding the accusations voiced by a number of countries against Russia, there was absolutely nothing new in those attempts. We draw your attention to the fact that all of the states who have spoken out and those who might touch upon this topic after me have a very sad history of destabilizing other countries, and not only in Africa, as well as mass crimes against entire peoples. And even today, they are far from impeccable when it comes to human rights. And as a result of their military interference, large numbers of civilians often die. Media reports on this are being increasingly seen. That is why we cannot consider the statements of these colleagues on the Council regarding the CAR as anything except a hypocritical, envious, coordinated information campaign. Let us recall that the main factor of instability in the Central African Republic is the activity of illegal armed groups. And this country, like others or elsewhere in the world, has the full sovereign right to choose its partners to combat security threats and challenges. Thank you very much for your attention.
Je remercie la représentante.
I thank the representative of the Russian Federation for her